Hello. It seems so. I thought, yeah, because did it take a little bit of weight off Zed? Don't damage it. Yeah, firebolt definitely all the way. Magic missiles.
At least if you do firebolt and she's in the way, you can go, oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, she's invisible, then you can fireball her and
Well, that's different,
valid
isn't it?
excuse. Yeah.
Well, you need to drop down that. Oh, is it Laura? No, it's you that drops down the vines, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you need.
That really gets wound up when I do that, doesn't it? Because it stops him moving about.
It does, but if we don't know where he is, it's
No.
almost enemy there.
Yeah.
Let's not be mean. Let's just fireball the general area where we think Ember is. All right, are we ready?
We are good to go, sir. And yeah, don't worry about being this time. It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah, actually, the meeting finished. It's scheduled to finish 1:45, but it finished about 10 minutes early. So we can probably start at 1:45 next week. But if we gather for this kind of time, we can see what happens.
You need to sit upright as well, because that's going to really mess with your back.
It will do. You'll be like me. You'll have.
And he's left the room.
He's left the room.
General.
I was driving a van on Saturday that's aggravated my sciatic nerve, and it feels like I'm sitting on a bloody golf ball.
Oh, never good.
Oh, never good now.
See, I've got heated seats in the car, and I turn them on every time just for this type of thing, because I tore my back muscles when I was younger, and it's great.
Yeah. You've not worked for Royal Mail, have you?
No.
They've only just got seats.
They've only just taken the holes out of the floor, so you have to push
That's
yourself along.
right. God, it was awful. It was a Fiat Doblo, and the seat kept on lowering itself, and it's like you're pumping the seat back up again, and then you're trying to push the clutch.
Yeah, they also used to deliver some PCs with around the site and one of those Fiat things. That's like I had a quick go. It's like, no, screw this. I'm parking it up. I'm going to take my own car.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. Well, I've got a nice Peugeot now, big ass van, and it's gorgeous. I've got to remember not to reach down for the handbrake because there isn't one.
Yeah. I'm sure if I.
All right. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Discord is being an arse.
Damn you, Discord.
You had this trouble on Thursday as well,
Yeah,
didn't you?
only for you though, Zed. So.
I know. And on Thursday, I flashed my BIOS, so I'm wondering if that's. I don't see how that would cause Discord to fail.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, mine's been stable for ages now, which is good.
Oh, maybe I'll have a look, see if there's an update or something I need to apply, or maybe just reinstall Discord.
Unless it's something to do with the network. Is your network dropping at the same time?
I don't know, but the cameras just freeze, right? Everything just freezes, and it looks like I'm permanently transmitting.
Network or USB, maybe.
See if there's an
Okay.
update for your camera.
Last week, where did we leave off? So last week,
Wibble.
you almost wibbled your way to insanity.
Yeah.
But you managed to survive. Well, I say you managed to survive. So we tracked forward. You spent the day in the church, the rather quiet, secluded Templar church in Brichester, where you discovered a bunch of bits of information, but the weirdest thing that you had was this strange vision, encounter, episode, whatever you want to call it, where you thought you'd seen some kind of doorway or something in the tombs underneath the church, And when you passed through, it seemed to take you through to you thought you appeared in a very strange foreign landscape where these odd buildings existed and this strange group of creatures came. And as they got close to you one by one, well, actually not even one by one, all together at pretty much the same time, you all passed out and then reappeared in the sanctum of the church, trying to go back down the stairs under the pew seemed to constantly take you to the top of the tower of the church. And you tried this a few times, but same results. No matter what happened and however you did it, you ended up coming through that into that top of the one floor below the steeple.
Oh, the tower, yeah.
But what didn't happen was when you threw something down those stairs, that didn't appear in those stairs above. And that was something that you found strange. But anyway, you took the decision at that point to kind of cut your losses, head back to the Brichester Arms, get a nice meal in you, a couple of pints of this thing that the English called stout, or wine, or whiskey, or whatever it is you drink, and retire to bed, I believe, was where we left it.
Yeah, I think we're planning on checking ourselves into the mental institute tomorrow.
That's right.
That might be the case. So, what? Anybody doing anything that evening?
If the church is open, I'm going to the service, I think.
That's
Just
right.
for a little bit of normality.
You wanted to re-establish a connection with your pillars of stability. Although we did suggest that the pillars of stability that you had were not necessarily the church, was it?
No,
But
no,
it is
they
something
were
you do.
all family.
Okay.
But
How else are people? Anybody else planning to use the Sunday to do something similar?
Yeah, well, I was going to get in contact with Janet Winston Rogers just to give her an update of what's going on and just to touch base with her to gain a bit of stability as well.
Yeah, I was going to contact my parents.
That's right.
All right.
It's a Sunday of self care.
yeah,
Sunday of self-care.
a mixture
and
of alcohol and self-reflection and
Yeah, I'm working out by pushing this huge wardrobe in front of the door, then pushing it again away when I want to go out.
Okay.
And I think we all have a surprise look when we go out of our hotel room and we're actually in the corridor, not back in the room again.
Yep. Okay.
yeah, might be an idea to climb out the window.
Yeah. End up back in that tower.
Just be on the safe side. Won't use the normal routes. Take a different way.
All right. I'll tell you what. Okay, each of you roll a d6. Add 1 to the number. Joseph, you may recover 3 stability.
Who's flash 1d6 plus 1, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, you don't want to roll a 1 if you can help it. Ralph, you
Nice.
7.
There's not a valid chat message.
Now, slash roll space 1d6 plus 1.
I missed out the word roll.
Oh, beautiful, both of you.
And Alfred, you recover 7 as well.
Nice.
But on that basis, you are not throughout Sunday doing anything in any way, shape, or form related to the ongoing investigations. You are spending A quiet Sunday. Just chilling.
And looking at the
That's how Sunday should be.
Yeah.
Apparently.
That is how Sunday should be. And of course, nothing is open apart from the
That's
pub,
right.
because it is Sunday and it is a day of rest and recuperation.
And if you open shops, you will burn in hell.
Yes.
I miss those days unless you wanted a pint of milk.
Yeah, it wasn't you since we needed something.
I vaguely remember those days. I don't think it was. Yeah, it wasn't. Okay. All right.
No, you're older than me, Zed, so you definitely remember them. You just shut them out.
Yes, you shut them out.
Probably.
The only shop that was ever open in my little village was the sweet shop.
The late 80s, early 90s that things started opening on a Sunday?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not that young.
Okay. Well, you do everything you can throughout the whole of Sunday to avoid anything related to what you've discovered. Ralph, you have a stack of books.
I do, yeah.
Do you feel the urge to kind of read one of them?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Are you sure?
I have a thirst for knowledge, but I am more than aware of my current situation.
Okay. All right. You ignore those books. Sunday comes and goes. The weather is cool. It's, I don't know. Can we figure out what the weather might have been? Let's see if we can figure out what the weather was.
It's probably the one year where it was 17 foot of snow.
Yeah. Have a look. Let's have a look, shall we? 27 January 1937.
So I was thinking we'll go for a walk, but if it is really deep snow, that might not happen.
Let's go for a walk down by the lake.
No. No. And not in the direction of the mental hospital either.
It's probably about 7 or 8 degrees. It's
That's not bad.
Not too bad. Not a lot of precipitation. It's not raining. It's just cool. Sort of a slightly warm day for January. But as I say, the day passes uneventfully, and you all settle back down for the night in your respective rooms. Monday morning, you each awake. Something I missed. Give me 1 second. Joseph.
Yes, sir.
Give me a sec. Give me 1 second. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. You awake. You're not as refreshed as you would have hoped to have been after a day of kind of, I wouldn't say laziness, but not really doing anything. When so you can't pin it down, but you seem to have this recurring dream by which you seem to be walking, and then whatever your destination is, it never seems to you never seem to reach it. Always just outside of reach. And as you kind of stretching and yawning and kind of looking around your room, kind of shaking the cobwebs out, wondering how much wine you drank last night, you notice something on sort of the dresser, the kind of the, I won't call it a table because it's probably a dresser which would have a telephone and a pad and a note, a pencil or something on it. Looking at it, you see the following. I'll show everybody. You see this.
Said he was going to drop.
Okay. And there's no sign of anybody. Oh, it's gone. The soaring star drops as well.
No.
Oh, it's because that window disappeared, so yours moved.
I was thinking, why aren't you saying anything? And you'd frozen again.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's you that's freezing.
I know. I don't understand it. I'll try and fix it. I'll reinstall Discord and see if that fixes it. If not, I'll poke around the net and see what the problem is. So you find this scribbled on the first page of this little notebook.
Whose handwriting is it in?
Joseph, can you give me a 2-point stability test, please?
I certainly can.
It's a success. You didn't spend any.
No, thank God.
The first couple of words appear to be in your handwriting. The rest seem to be in a writing that's somewhat familiar to you.
It's not the handwriting that's in the book of the mad woman that's in the local place, is it, when she gets taken over? Because you said there was bits where she goes into clarity or focus, and then
No.
It's not that, okay.
But it's the same handwriting that's in the Revelations of Glacky.
I wrote it. No.
Fantastic.
Gun out, boom.
Jeez, this is like making me want to do a certain ritual.
It seems you were possessed last night, sir.
It does. Don't like it.
Oh, I've drawn a picture. Was it Ralph that drew the other picture?
Yeah, Ralph drew the
Yeah.
picture you with the secret thing.
Yeah, so it's your turn to get taken over and do something.
Well, first thing after seeing this letter and the gibberish that's on there, I'm gonna throw my morning clothes and go knocking at the at Ralph and Alfred's door.
Yep.
Look! I slept last night. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't feel like I've slept, but I slept. But this was on my dresser. The wardrobe is still in front of my door. Some of it's in my handwriting.
That's because you wrote it, sir. Just like,
Do you normally sleepwalk and write things?
Never. It's never happened before. It's
Well,
not
you
even
tend to read
poetry.
it. How are you supposed to read it?
It seems to be. Yes, it's like those books and the small papers with the bubbles. So that the mouth gapes, a warning. Do not be long, world stirs behind, warning the prisoner swallows. See inside the city that is lost, and we cannot see the road behind the wall. Chews, consumes, eats, bleeds, macerates, sweetness, we speak, blah, blah, blah. You hear, I kept him behind the wall. Fallen, chosen, slay not the what? There will be hope even when the end comes. The gaze awaits.
That's a big portal appears behind you, and we all get dragged through.
Wibble. Hello,
You
my
just cast a
squishy
spell.
people.
Okay. Welcome to the club of doing strange things in your sleep.
I don't quite like this.
No, I didn't.
And Ralph, when you look at it, it's definitely matches the writing style and everything that you see in parts of the Revelations of Glaaki.
yes, we've been seemingly led by pictorial form, and you've had a visit from something that's responsible for the writings in Glaaki.
But is it a warning to help us, or is it? I mean, it says I kept him behind the wall. So that's like this thing or person that's writing these is trying to keep this thing away.
The prisoner, yes. The one local that came down in a ball of flame, a comet, and was buried on the island.
Hmm.
What is this wall that they keep going on about?
Assuming that's where it was bricked up.
Yeah, but the thing that I drew shows something that was bricked up at the gate, didn't it?
It was.
Okay.
Maybe it's stuck behind one of those strange windows that we went through. Dreamt we went through.
Is it worth showing this picture I drew to someone at the library? Maybe they know what it is, or have an idea where it is.
That's at the university, because it's Monday now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Monday now, yeah.
Could be something from a book. It could be something they've seen themselves.
I think
it could technically be in one of these books that I've just picked up as well.
Yeah, possibly.
Don't we need to go to the university to give the professor those books you got for him?
Yes.
Should we look through your books just to see if anything matches, rather than just reading, looking for the picture?
Hmm.
It shouldn't take long to actually go through looking for a picture that matches.
I will give the books that we've got a cursory glance, just for any diagrams, pictures that match.
What I drew, or
Yeah.
the description, or something similar.
Sort of a bricked up archway, if I remember rightly, yes?
Yeah.
Doesn't appear to be anything in the book.
Maybe this is a new chapter, like what the girl in the sanatorium was doing.
I wonder if that's an intentional spelling mistake at the top. Or Revelations of the Herd. I'm reading too much into it, I think.
Yeah.
The Revelations of Glacky at the right top. That's spelled right. Revelations below it isn't.
Yeah, so there's no diagrams as such. Which books did you have? Remind me.
Um,
Okay.
so I've got Revelations 9, the 1865 annotated version.
Yeah. You've got. That's it. The Use of the Dead. That's the one that you found in the church. You've got the new version 12 notes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've made a start on the 12th.
Okay. It's gonna take you a couple 3 hours. But so you spend the morning looking at the writing, the diagram or the picture that Alfred had drawn, and you scour some of the books. Your eyes are light on a section in book 12 that says, beyond the gulf in the subterranean night, a passage leads to a wall of massive brick, and beyond the wall rises Golanac to be served by the tattered, eyeless figures of the dark. Long has he slept beyond the wall, and those which crawl over the bricks scuttle across his body, never knowing it to be Golanac. But when his name is spoken or read, he comes forth to be worshipped, or to feed and to take on the shape and the soul of those he feeds upon. Carries on going, yeah. For those who read of evil and search for its form within their minds call forth evil, and so may Golanac return to walk among men and await the time when the earth is cleared off and Cthulhu rises from his tomb among the weeds. Glacky thrusts open the crystal trapdoor. The brood of Ihort are born into daylight. Shub-Niggurath strides forth to smash the moon lens. Byatis bursts forth from his prison. Dowloth tears away illusion to expose the reality concealed behind.
Is there some reason why some of the handwriting's different?
Gone again, hasn't it?
Yeah. I don't like a lot of the names they're mentioning, and the fact that Glacky thrust open the crystal trapdoor. Well, that's that trapdoor in the church, isn't it?
Yeah, possibly. But it's weird how, like I say, unless they're just like to make it stand out more, the names. But it's just very strange how there's different handwriting.
Yeah, it does say something about it. It says, in fact, whenever the text turns away from a Galanac, the language takes on the quality of old man losing his track. Restores, it's sharpen again. So I wonder if that's what it is.
Good call.
What was that? Sorry.
That text that's in the middle, it says, in fact, whenever the text turns away from a Galanac, the language takes on the quality of old man losing his track of the thoughts, only to sharpen again and thrust back towards the matter. Well, the writing changes on the word of Galanac and then goes back again. I wonder if that's what the handwriting style change.
Yeah, just wondering why there's a font difference that's been used, whether it's purposeful or whether it's just something that's happened when they've been doing it.
Leave that again.
I do not know what's going on here tonight.
Maybe drop your video, mate, just in case it's one of your video drivers. See where the voice
Yeah, I'll
is.
drop a video for that. See what happens. Okay. As you kind of read through this, you can increase your Cthulhu Mythos by +1.
Oh, woo. I'm just so happy about that.
And you've got a 4-point dedicated pool that you can use for either occult or Cthulhu Mythos related things to Glacky or Egolanak. But when you do use it, it will trigger a Mythos stability test.
All these dedicated pools.
I think when I used to play Cthulhu, you wanted to get some Cthulhu Mythos. Then I realised it's not a good thing.
It's not as bad as Call of Cthulhu 7, where your sanity decreases for every point of Cthulhu Mythos that you have.
I can't remember which version we played. It was that many years ago. It's not a game I ever actually bought the rules or anything for. We just played this with my friends. Did have all the rules.
See if this works. In case you can't read it, I've just posted in there the rest of this little thing.
Yeah, so what we were wondering was whether there's a reason that the font changes. Is that a representation of it, the normal text where it says it goes away from you go Galanac? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Push my button to talk. This worries me a little bit, where it says, "Yet elsewhere, beyond that haunted, blasted world, the glistening ebony of Glacky's bastion stands." I had to read that word then.
Stands unsullied.
Yeah, is that sounds a little bit like where we were, because that was like a blasted land, wasn't it?
Yep.
Fist pulsing, ooze-soaked,
Yeah.
fuel neb test the wall with slathering tongue, tasting for those who would feast on it. Sounds like a great first date.
It does, doesn't it? Especially when it mentions the syphilis of souls at the top.
Yeah.
See, could those globule things, could they be what it's talking about? The ooze-soaked posture? Because they were, weren't they? The blobs.
Yeah, they were. They were amorphous, jelly-like things. That section that I've just pasted there is started with the following. Yeah, you saw that, like mouse with weasel.
What does
The
pedistic?
language in this is just really weird.
I'm like, it's the writing and the language. Pedistic. I've never. What the hell does that mean?
Don't know. Well, I can say this: the Discord hasn't dropped.
No.
It must be a video driver then, by the sounds of it.
Yeah. I'll have to see if there's a new updated Razer video driver for the thingy, or video driver in
Oh, it's Piet. But
Yeah,
Pietism,
pietastic or
yeah.
something, isn't it?
Pietism relating to religious devotion. Or do it right. Okay.
Lunchtime comes and goes as you kind of sit in the common room in a corner, poring over this book, sharing notes between each of you as Ralph leads the way on searching for more information about, whether anything else is mentioned about a bricked up door or wall. And it doesn't seem to be. But it's very clear that there are ramblings like that of an old man, and then it kind of sharpens back into focus and comes back to the heart of the matter throughout the few dozen pages of this volume 12 that Trisha had started working on.
There we go. It says pietistic. Overall religious devotion or devout persons.
Hmm.
Has anybody ever heard of a place called Tond?
Doesn't ring a bell.
No.
It sounds like that's where it was. Possibly before?
Okay, that's Soul's tongue.
It doesn't ring a bell to any of you, but it seems to be a place. Whether it's a place on Earth or somewhere else, it's not clear.
What the hell's it? What the hell's the immortal wand?
The immortal
The immortal wand. Wolvertrapper Igalanek building the immortal wand, rendering him but the prisoner of Galaki. So that's what imprisoned him.
No idea.
Too many breadcrumbs.
So frustrating when you use Google to find Tond and you think you found it, but no, it's a river tone.
If you look carefully, you can find Tond.
Lovecraft.fandom.com.
Yeah, I did spot it.
It is a planet, an extraterrestrial planet, the home world of the humanoid Yarkndao. Orbits the binary stars Yifni and Balbo, and is one of several planets that the Great Old One Glaki visited.
Okay.
Just so you know, yeah, Glaki is part of the expanded mythos, not the original Cthulhu mythos. All right. So as the afternoon arrives, what are your plans for the rest of the day, other than to just drink alcohol and tea and coffee and wibble in a corner? I am not leaving this place, he says, ever again.
Yeah, I can see Ralph scribing things on the walls of our new home.
Is this where we go out and get a hammer and chisel so that we can give each other lobotomies?
Yes, I'm going to order 2 dinners, one for me and one for my mouth. I think. Oh, I thought we were going to head to the university anyway to hand these books over, and maybe we could
Yes.
Yeah.
find out some more information, perhaps about.
Don't reveal the fact that we've got these other books, but maybe show the picture.
Hmm.
See if
And
anyone
maybe
recognizes that.
Yeah, and see if anybody's got any maps or anything of the island in the lake.
Yeah.
Maps of the island, eh?
Hmm. If we're planning to go out there at some point, somebody must have been out there.
Don't we know that the other party have gone down there?
We had that weird dream, didn't we, where they were in that building and somebody got stabbed by a spear, was it?
Yep.
And then they ran off, didn't they? It was Solomon and Hussein.
Yeah. Then we'll
Yeah,
find his
it
corpse
was.
somewhere.
The dream was from Solomon's viewpoint, and it was him that seemed to get stabbed.
Mm. Which is that a foreboding? Is it something that's happened? We don't know. But again, I was wondering after that whether they were in the cottages that were down. Refresh my memory, were the cottages for the cultists down by the lake or on the river to the lake?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so get some to eat and then head to the university.
Definitely.
Okay. You have lunch. mosey on back to the university. Professor Sangster is mid-lecture, but gets word that he will quite happily see you about 3 o'clock.
Head to the library in that case and wait for him, I think.
Yeah. Ask whoever's in there if they've got any maps.
Any maps of, you say?
The lake, the island on the lake.
Yep. And they pull out kind of an almanac of the area, and in the almanac is a number of general diagrams and maps and things. There is a rough kind of outline sketch of what the map looks like, of what the lake looks like, and a few little areas kind of noted on it. It seems to be about 7 or so miles outside of Brichester on the way to Purton. There is a small dirt track marked on the map that goes all the way around the lake. On the west side, there are 6 houses marked to sort of the southwest, and on the east side, there seems to be some markings suggesting tombs.
Okay.
But what catches your attention is there's no sign of an island marked on this map. The other thing as well is that the land all the way around and between the road and the lake is just woods of forest, ancient pine trees.
Is there a date on the map to indicate when it was
The
drawn?
map is dated 1927. 10 years old.
Okay. So the island was definitely around at that point.
But it's not on the map.
Nope.
Would the
Yeah,
how the houses sided are most likely to have jetties or piers or something that would lead onto the lake if anyone was actually going out onto it, fishing or
They're
whatever.
not marked. This map isn't that detailed.
Yeah.
But very possibly, yes.
No.
The almanac, though, you come to the Sevenford section. Sevenford talks about an island with ancient ruins on it, sitting out in the River Severn.
And the river doesn't head. Does the river join this lake at all, or
Doesn't appear to. This appears to be doesn't have an external marked drainage to the Severn River.
how long ago was it when Darrell Owens was left on the island?
Hold on. 1930, 7 years ago.
Right.
And it's referred to as the Isle beyond Sevenford.
doesn't give an address or anything like that as to where the island was?
The only island that you can see in this area is this one island that is out in the Severn, probably a quarter of a mile off. Maybe not that much. Probably not that much, actually. Maybe 1/10 of a mile or so off the coast of the river bank where Sevenford is. It is a small island.
Okay, so where have we got island in the middle of the lake from?
I never corrected you at any point. I just let you go off on that
Okay.
hypothesis. Because this is the first time you've actually looked at maps
Yeah.
as characters.
Just trying to figure out where we got the idea that it was in the middle of the lake.
Yeah, I must admit, I was.
It was from the story of them staying overnight on it.
Yeah.
But that was that in the lake, or was it on the Seven, the island beyond?
Which story? The story of the children?
Yes,
Yeah,
sure
let
it
me
was.
double check it for you. I'll remind you of what that was.
Deep Fall Lake cultists forced to stay overnight.
Yeah, I bet it. Right, let's have a look. And it's specifically.
Okay.
See, I've got all the bloody cliff notes, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. So I've got it down as Albion Sevenford, ruins on it. It's essentially
Yeah.
haunted. 1930 students explored the Isles. Joe played on Daryl Owens, left an island, and then committed, ran away, and killed by a car.
Yeah, I've got exactly that.
Straight after that, I've got Deep Fall Lake, prison out of Blackheath as a possible location. So whether that's
It's a Thomas Lee bit, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think your notes. I don't think your notes are wrong. I think in the general terms of what you've noted, I just think you put two and two together and assumed
Made Wibble.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had this vision in my head of it being this lake, this island in the lake. If it's not, if it's in the main river.
It does. Everything is pointing, as far as you can tell, to it being in the river.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of a Swallows and Amazons kind of little island type of thing.
Yeah. Oh no, that's partly how it's. Until you go, until you go to the lake or you look for maps and things, that is exactly how you would expect it to be. I now can't find the notes about the boy.
There's no photos or anything like that of the area, whether of the island or.
There's a grainy black and white photo of the houses. They are identical. Same kind of 1800 style brick buildings. Very, very, yeah, they're just identical. There doesn't
There's
appear,
6 of them, isn't there?
Yeah, there doesn't appear to be a jetty at the back of them. Although looking at the picture, they do appear to have some kind of back garden area that goes down to the river edge.
Okay.
Yeah, so Darrell Owens in 1930 visited the Isle beyond Sevenford with a number of fellow students.
The thing is about this Darrell kid. I mean, he was left there alone.
Yeah.
Now, depending on the strength of his mind, it could be a perfectly normal island, but it's amazing what your imagination will do, especially if he's alone on there.
Yeah, he went totally batshit crazy though, didn't he? So
Yeah, I mean, it does happen.
Yeah,
I locked one of my kids in a cupboard, and he...
Well, it was rumored to be haunted
and he
as
became
well.
a wizard.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it was rumored to be haunted, and he was left there, and his overactive imagination.
Mm.
He could have fallen over and banged his head at some points and hallucinated things. Or there could be fungus or something that he had on there and went,
yeah.
magic mushrooms.
Oh, there could be 6 foot tall bronze statues of some weird fish monster thing.
Yeah, could have had those.
I'm thinking that.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I'm going to take over with me to the island.
Looking at it, you're definitely going to need a boat.
Yeah.
So you're most probably going to have to go to Sevenford and try and find a boat that you can rent or a fisherman that can take you out there. As I say, it's about it's probably 7 or 8 miles to Sevenford from where you are.
It's definitely too late to go today, so that could be a plan of action for maybe tomorrow.
Well, it's not if you want to spend the night there.
Do we look that suicidal?
I don't know.
It may be that we have to spend the night there.
Yeah.
Maybe we can go there and take the books with us and read some ghost stories.
Do have a torch. Yeah, do have a torch to hold up to our face.
Yeah. That's a point.
So Sevenford, according to the map, is 40 minutes west of Brichester on the Severn River, north of Purton. Much of the frontage, if you like, of the town appears to be dockland.
Do we take our firearms with us? I know we took the handguns, but I don't remember the rifles or whether we left those on the planes because of the laws.
You hired a car, didn't you?
Yeah.
We had a boot of that car.
Yeah.
Do you have preparedness?
Yes.
Spend some preparedness. Roll a dice. I think it's an active skill, isn't it? Target is 4. If you get 4 or more, you brought your rifles with you.
No.
You brought rifles.
No ammo.
Yes.
There are a couple of boxes of ammo, and your long arms in the trunk of your hire car, along with 3 rolls of plastic, some duct tape, and several hazmat suits. Wait, hang on a minute. No, wrong game.
Oh, hang on. Can I just check if we bought books 7, 8, and 11 of the Revelations of Glacky? I'm sure there was somewhere.
You have not got those.
Right, well, let's wait for the professor so we can have a chit-chat with him.
Oh, 3 o'clock rolls by. You head back to the university. Professor Sangster is more than happy to meet with you. Hi, gentlemen. Still here?
Yes.
And how goes your information gathering for your book, Mr. Haas?
It's going quite well. I hit a bit of a brick wall, but no doubt we'll overcome that.
Oh, anything I could perhaps help you with?
It's literally a brick wall as well. We've come across a diagram or a picture of a bricked up archway. I was wondering whether you'd seen any similar diagrams in local pieces.
I can't say I have. He kind of takes the diagram and he kind of looks at it and squints and things. And I can't say I have. The brickwork looks modern. The archway, not so modern. It's a very good drawing. I'd be curious to know where you found it.
It was just in some paperwork that we came across. No author named
No author name. Oh, interesting.
or artist.
Well, I hear
Whilst we're here, though, we do have your books.
You got the sporting book?
Indeed, both of them.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Was it difficult to convince him to give them to you?
Not overly. I think being in the same trade helped. I've
See that?
I've offered him obviously first refusals on specials that I get.
Well, I think Mr. Parsons will no doubt remind you of that at every opportunity he can.
No doubt, it's a good little shop with a good history. So hopefully, I'll get some good trade there.
Have you any idea how long you'll be staying in Brichester for now?
I wouldn't think too long, but potentially a week, maybe.
The other Americans, well, not all of them American, I don't think, but the EBA left a couple of days ago.
Not all of them.
No, one of them wasn't with them, and they did leave in a kind of a hurry. I remember I happened to spot them in the I want to say post office, but let's just double check. Yeah, that's what I thought it would be. Yes, one of them. I believe it was a French-sounding gentleman. I spotted him in the post office on Friday, I believe. A second. I'll check my notes. Where's the calendar gone? Yeah, Friday. Friday late afternoon. And then they left Brichester.
How strange. Was Mr. Solomon with them?
He kind of pauses for a second. Do you know, I think that was a gentleman that wasn't with them. Interesting. He must still be here for research. I don't trust those fellows. Certainly not after their visit here. I definitely don't trust them. I think they're looking for things, perhaps trying to beat me to writing a book.
Yeah, they do come across as quite rude, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't trust Sullivan while we met him.
Rude, maybe, but certainly very close-lipped, not so chatty, not like yourselves, and very brisk in their business.
Yes, from what I've discovered, and I'm not a learned man like my colleagues here, but they do like to keep their cards close to their chest and don't like to share what they find.
Well, that does not surprise me. You know,
Shall we go find out what they actually discovered?
funnily enough, Solomon was looking at that very almanac. I seem to remember that he sketched a map, and he flicks open the page of. Oh, actually, no, you're not in the library. Sorry, no, ignore that. It tells you that he was interested in maps of Deepfall Lake and the waterways around Sevenford. Because you were in the library, weren't you, when you got the almanac?
Yeah.
Interesting. It is a place that we were planning to visit.
How far away is the lake from the island?
Well, they're not connected as such. I would say about 20 minutes drive to Sevenford from the lake.
Oh, okay, so plus a few miles.
Yeah. Yeah, I think unfortunately, as the roads are around here, 20 to 30 minutes from the lake, 10 or so minutes, or maybe 15 minutes from here to the lake, 20, 25 minutes further on to Sevenford, and then the island is a very short boat ride, maybe 200, 300 yards.
Are the boats on the river to get to the island?
There are a small number of, well, Sevenford itself is a fishing port as such, a fishing dock, and there'll be a number of boats that head out that way, though many tend to avoid the island. They certainly don't set foot on the island.
Okay.
Did you say this on the right of the lake?
Due to all the river myth that exist. What was that? Sorry.
So that on the right of the lake is that tombs?
Tombs, yeah.
I'll ask him about that. But what are these tombs on the edge of the lake?
Oh, they're just old stones and stonework that are marked with various individuals' names. Perhaps an old graveyard. Perhaps whoever lived in the houses in the 1800s set up that area to bury their loved ones.
Do you know roughly when the lake was formed, or is it something that's been Here, millennia.
That's
Yeah. How old did you say they were? You say they were for loved ones, so they're quite modern. Then
well.
they're not. They're not. We're not talking Neolithic tombs here.
Oh no. 18th century, maybe early 19th century.
So possibly for the inhabitants of the cottages or the houses across the other side.
Yeah, very possibly. To believe. It's been a while since I visited them myself. They don't really pay much attention to them, and they don't seem to be that useful. But I believe one of the tombs might have been the last resting place of Thomas Lee.
Oh, really? He was the cultist leader, wasn't he?
Indeed. Which is why I think most people believe that the tombs there are literally the so-called cultists.
That's a reasonable assumption.
You thinking of going there?
It'd be nice. I think it'd be nice for us to have a look.
Might give you some ideas for the book.
Well, that would be. Let me know what you find. If there's anything of interest there, or anything that you puzzled, perhaps I've got some notes here that might help you.
Oh,
Certainly won't be featuring too much in my book.
Well, we certainly will.
Any fish in that lake?
It's a very deep lake. I'm sure there would be. I can't say I've fished it myself. Most people fish on the river.
And there's a place in your local town here to buy some fishing equipment, isn't there?
I'm sure there is here, but you would be better getting. You get a better supply from Sevenford.
Oh, of course, yes. I was just thinking about supporting your local businesses around here.
Yeah, I'm sure they would appreciate it. I can't really remember hearing anybody talking about fishing on Deepfall Lake, to be fair. It's an interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Well, nobody else has. There should be lots of fish in there.
Yeah. I'm sure you can get fishing tackle from one of the sporting goods shops here.
Oh, why, thank you, my good man. That's something I will definitely take on board with me.
Bob's Bait and Tackle.
Yeah.
Bob's
The only type of fishing
masturbators.
I went. The only fishing I went to good at is the explosive kind that you throw in and then wait for them to bob to the surface.
Yeah.
That's cheating.
Yeah, well, I've got a skill in fishing, but I've got a skill in explosives, so you use what you've got.
He's kind of giving you about 30 minutes of his time. He starts to get a little bit
Bored.
fidgety.
Well, he has got things to do.
Yeah.
He's a busy man.
Late.
Yeah, and he starts to say, gentlemen, if you don't mind, I need to take my leave and
Go for a poo.
Oh no, of course. You get on with your day. We thank you for your time.
yeah. Well, I'm sure if you're going to be here for another week or so, I'm sure I can come and join you for a drink and a meal in Brichester Arms.
Oh, indeed, you're most welcome.
Wednesday evening work, 7 p.m.
We're Monday today, aren't we? So yeah, that sounds all right. We're still alive and sane by then.
Well, gentlemen, I wish you good day, and I will see you on Wednesday evening.
Yep. See you on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'd shake his hand and away he goes.
No worries. you head yourselves, you take yourselves back out of the university, get back into your car, head back out onto the road. It is about 3:30. It is getting dark.
Do we need any supplies? Pack punches at least.
Yeah. Well, we're not going out tonight anyway, are we?
No.
No.
First thing in the morning, yeah. Well, in which case, I do want to buy a fishing rod and some reel.
Okay.
And I also want to buy some, like, tent stakes.
Okay. That's fine. You can find those at the various outdoor shops in Richester, of which there will be a couple.
So just to let my colleagues know, the idea of this is when we used to go on safari, we used to set a perimeter with stakes in the ground and put line around it.
Yeah, good idea.
So I thought using the fishing twine, we could do exactly the same thing.
All right,
Yeah.
make a note on your character sheet that you've got some tent pegs and fishing line.
Fishing rod and line, yeah.
Fishing rod and line, yeah.
We've each got a flashlight, haven't we?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing gas mask sounds easy to get. after the
I don't think
things
at
we
this
had last
point,
time.
yeah, I don't think surplus army and navy quite exists yet.
No. See, I'll have one, but it'll be back at home in America, I would think.
Yeah, I would agree.
Is there somewhere we can get some minions? Yeah, otherwise known as cannon fodder.
Red shirts.
Yeah, red
Yeah.
shirts.
Something like that we can use as face coverings, at least. So, balaclava or something just to cover our nose and mouth. Because of the spores last time, I don't want to have that issue again.
You can go shopping again. Probably the outdoor store would sell things like balaclavas and things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same place as the 10 packs, most likely. Anything else we need? You need to restock on whatever you used for drawing those runes and things. Did you carve into the stone, or was it chalk or something like that?
I'm not carved into the stone, but I've got chalk.
Yeah, carved into the stone. Okay. Again, pleasant evening at the Brichester Arms.
It may be worth getting some basic outdoor stuff from the sports thing because if we're going camping, get stuff like an axe for chopping wood up and knives for gutting fish and things like that.
Yeah, a small hatchet type thing for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not a bad idea.
So I'll tell you what. You can have a 2-point preparedness pool to utilize if you want to get an item of outdoor camping equipment. Okay. So essentially, if you tell me you want a wood axe, you can roll a preparedness test. You've got 2 extra points that you could spend, and if you get 3 or more, you've got a wood axe. That simple.
Can't think of anything else that need drilling. Yeah. Tinderbox.
Anybody doing anything that evening?
A paraffin and a lamp, and way too much paraffin than what we'd really need.
I will continue with, because I've made a first glance at book 9, hadn't I? I'll start to read it properly.
Read book 9.
Oh, and I'd have given Ralph that writing that I and the other me made.
Yeah. Book 9. Specifically, Volume 9 of The Uses of the Dead, annotated by Alexander Copeland.
That's the one.
It's the 9th volume of the 1865 edition of the Revelations of Glaaki. It was published by the Matterhorn Press of Highgate in London. It appears to be an original. Quarto size, bound in soft black leather, it has a colophon embossed on the front cover, depicting a coffin framed by a pair of open hands.
Is it gold leaf? Is it gold leaf? Because they're my favourite sort of like special editions.
It might be gold edges, yeah. The maid shall be known by the summoning of the remains. The author or authors of the use of the dead seem to promise formulas to revive the dead, to conjure forth their wakeful thoughts, to inhabit their bodies so as to use them as disposable vessels in some form of arcane exploration, to prepare their flesh for consumption so as to copy their consciousness into your own, and even to prevent the newly dead from departing as long as they are useful to the sorcerer. One paragraph catches your attention as you're looking through it. Through the dead flesh, Glaaki manifests itself. For through the necrotic skeins of lifeless brains, he finds a gentler passage for acid-etching thoughts lying dormant and unused. In 48 uncursings, let the tongue of Aklo unveil in preparation of the 49th, which shall make your flesh receptive to his call. Glancing through it, though, if there are occult formulas in the book, they must be lying low in the midst of the text, which shows distinct signs of palilalia, and in instances where it is clear multiple hands are at work in the same passage, echolalia. Another paragraph grabs your attention. The sounds you hear, the sourceless sounds, they are the realm of the glow. Their all matter is. I'll share this in a minute because I can't work that what that is. But their all matter is an expression of sound, and in the place where the angles of Tagaklatur have thinned the not air, the sounds of sklau. Anyway, maybe right. Hang on, let me do this because
Zed's gone wibble.
The sounds of earth are made manifest as crystals and horrors. The intention of the inhabitants of Zglau are uncertain. Interlaced with the cascade of discordant imagery are a large number of crude diagrams displaying the construction of transdimensional translators, star sealants, telepathic transducers, and other fanciful machines. Most of these diagrams will be functionally incomprehensible, but this particular copy has been annotated by someone named Alexander Copeland. The annotations speak extensively of an invisible organ that he apparently discovered. Copeland apparently believes that the various diagrams and technical passages of the Revelations hold the key to unraveling the mystery of its working. Most of his annotations consist of complicated attempts, many of them false starts, to accomplish exactly that. However, there are also the notes which seem to wax philosophies upon the wider theme of the text. They have gone through the skin of Yog-Sothoth. They have gone where the sun cannot reach, where the emerald gangrene cannot unravel the gift which the Gulf Wanderer has given him. Without Copeland's invisible organ to hand, if such a thing ever actually existed, it's relatively impossible to work out what he hoped to accomplish. As far as you can tell, The references to this invisible organ are all centered on the church.
I was going to say that
This is what we
showing us
heard.
the pictures, and he's the one that had the 2 pictures of him up. Alexander Copeland. So he's the one that's got the younger picture upstairs, and then the haggard-looking one.
Yeah. You may give yourself an additional +1 Cthulhu Mythos.
Rather you than me.
It's like a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
You may increase your occult or Cthulhu Mythos related to Glacky pool to 4.
You know, when they actually drugged out the inhabitants of wherever that is, I think he just looked at a bottle of super glue at the time and, yeah, that'll do.
Okay, what was that pool again?
An extra +2 points to your dedicated pool for Cthulhu Mythos or occult related to Glacky.
Okay, because at the moment I've got 4 dedicated points for Glacky and Golinak, which is usable once per adventure and will trigger stability. So where do these 2 go? Is this a separate pool?
It's the same pool that you got reading. It adds on to the pool that you got from Volume 12.
So I'm now. So that'll take it to 6, I think.
Correct. Yes. We'll take
Okay.
it.
And you look at it going, oh, there's 6 points in that pool there that'll make me go mad.
Yeah.
Stay clear of it.
Yeah, I'm holding all these things to never touch them.
Howard.
I've still got a 2-point pool for any investigations involving the Maw of the Mouth.
You have. And you'll have that until the end of the adventure.
Yeah.
Actually, until you use it, 'cause it doesn't refresh.
Yeah, it just goes.
And to be fair, looking at what I wrote last night, you might still need it. I don't want to go back to that church, but I think we might have to.
To look for the organ.
Yes.
Question is, what type of organ is it? Is it a musical organ, or is it an organ from
It's a priest,
a
isn't
creature?
it?
Priest's organ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different one again.
Now, do we have to? I can't say that. No.
Well, let's take you to 8:30 the morning of Tuesday the 29th. You sleep well.
Lots of
Nothing
alcohol before that.
strange happens to you that night. You sit over another English breakfast and English breakfast tea or coffee and discuss your plans for the day, which are
Going fishing.
Are we going to the church first or straight to fishing? Because we didn't go into down the steps at the back of the church, did we? That went into where the graveyard was or whatever it was.
you didn't. You fled the church.
And to be fair, we didn't look at these paintings. We didn't try to take them off the wall or anything.
I took photos of them. So
But if you remember, there was little hidden compartments, weren't there, under statues?
Yeah.
There were.
So maybe he's hidden his organ behind his painting.
Alfred looked behind at least one picture from memory.
I think I looked through behind both of them because I was looking for signatures and things like that on it.
Yeah.
Anything that could be hidden
nothing behind them.
There's only the graveyard, the outside part that we haven't been, I don't think. We went up, facing the altar, we went up the right-hand side. Don't think we went up the left-hand side either. Some stairs going up there, weren't there?
Should we pop there this morning then, have a look, and then see if anybody else has been there, and then head out to the lake in the afternoon?
Yeah, quick check to see whether the bits we didn't go to, just to see if there's anything there that we missed, and then head off to the fishing trip.
I remember the
So-
quickest way to the tower is down those steps.
Yeah, but that's the opposite side. We don't want to go that way. It's the other side.
Driving.
You need the steps, don't you?
Need the steps.
The exercise.
Who's driving?
I'll be driving.
All right. You kind of set off just after 9 o'clock. Head towards the church. You've been to the church before. You kind of know which one. It's probably that one in the far distance on the map there. After 15 minutes, doesn't seem to be any closer. And Alfred, you've just passed that house 5 minutes ago.
You know where you're going? We're going around in circles. We've just passed there.
But the church is ahead of us. It's not been on the left or the right. It's there. Like, I tell you what. If you think you can do any better, Alfred, you drive, and I'll sit on the other side.
I'll give it a go.
Did you have the driving skill?
Yep, 6.
6, okay.
He's way better than me. That's probably why.
What driving skill?
That makes 3.
Alfred. 15 minutes. Church is still ahead. Doesn't appear to be any closer. And you've just passed that building 5 minutes ago as well. From where you are in the back of this car, Ralph, it's very odd. Just
I tell you what. I'm just pull over here. I'm going to get out.
Are we
stand.
walking?
Yeah.
No, we're going to leave him there, then we're going to drive and see if we actually meet up with him again.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. This is stupid.
how long are you going to wait on the side of the road?
Oh,
I
it's
suppose,
been
till I
about
make enough money
15
to get a
minutes,
bus.
hasn't it?
Yeah, I'll have a smoke while I'm out there.
Okay. 10
Yeah,
minutes.
well-
You see a very familiar car coming down the road. And
Okay.
ahead of you, Ralph and Alfred, you can see Joseph stood on the corner where you left him, cigarette in hand, shivering a little bit against the cold.
What is going on here?
Did you take a left or a right, or did you go straight on?
Just
Road.
went straight on.
Straight on.
I'm
Yeah, let's see if we can actually get back to the Bridgester Arms, or whether we're just going to be driving forever now.
I've got a feeling it's the destination.
Bridgester Arms, 15 minutes, as you would expect. There it is on your left. The little park on the right, opposite.
Is there any point at which we no that we would know that something? No, I can't fathom this.
This is like
It's
going
like
down the
At
steps.
Yeah,
what- at
stairwell.
at what point are we behind ourselves
Yeah,
on the
that's what I was
journey?
trying to edge. Because I was going to walk ahead, maybe walk ahead of the car, but that would take forever. 15 minutes driving is a long time.
15 minutes driving is a long time. But somewhere in that 15... So actually, it wouldn't be 15 minutes going back. It would probably be about between 5 and 10 minutes before you get back to the Brichester Arms. Seems to be you go through the town centre and onwards to where where the church is, just the other side of the town centre. Just as you kind of get past, let's say, a crossroads in the town centre, that's where everything seems to go weird. You reckon you're about a mile, maybe a mile and a half away from the church at this point?
Let me out of the car before we get to these crossroads, and I'll walk across and see what happens.
I was going to say, do we pull over and try and walk it to?
As we look, can we see traffic going through?
Yeah. Traffic's going down and heading that way. Not a problem.
And it then doesn't pass us afterwards. Right.
Doesn't appear to.
I'm going to get a taxi and see if I reappear without the taxi going at 30 miles an hour.
Your taxi fare is going to be huge if he's driving for hours and hours and hours and not getting there.
Yeah.
You can get a taxi.
No, I did. I was messing. I would definitely walk across the road though.
The taxis exist in the countryside in the back.
No.
Arse end of nowhere in 1937.
Farmer Bob's mate's probably got a car. He can,
there are
The
buses.
bus,
There is buses. Buses probably more than taxis. Taxis are probably still more of a major city, London kind of thing.
just walk. It's only a mile.
Mm. Well, if we know that this crossroads is the stopping point, then we'll just leave the car here. Ralph can stay in the car in case we need picking up from behind us. And he can watch what happens when we do go across the crossroads.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Ralph? Do you mind doing that?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'll just observe.
Can you drive if you have to come and pick us up?
No.
No.
So basically, you're walking.
Yeah, Alfred, I'll walk across.
Yeah.
You just note what happens if I go
Okay.
across. Because we seem to get across this crossroads, then we go back.
You know what's going to happen? He's going to walk across the road and a bus is going to hit him.
Yeah, there's a little kid over there with 666 on the back of his head.
So you observe the two of them walking down the road, and it's not a straight line as such. We're assuming it's a straight line to the church. Eventually, you're going to have to turn and turn again and stuff like that. Yeah, you watch them until the point where they have to turn, and probably a quarter of a mile down the road, and they turn, they cross over the road and turn down the side road. You come out at a junction, and just across the junction is the back of Ralph, staring out down the road that you were walking along about 15 minutes ago.
What?
You've come over in a big, somehow you've come in a big circle without realizing it.
I need a pint.
Yeah, give up on this. Walk up behind
Yeah,
Ralph.
Ralph.
Tap him on the shoulder.
You feel a tap on your back.
Let's use that sanity. Oh dear.
As they come down the road behind you, you kind of double take for a second.
Ralph, there's something strange. Either my mind is not following directions correctly, or there's something strange here, like what was in the church.
It's something change. It's something strange, like in the church.
Actually, what year are we?
Just out of interest, I'm gonna check my watch and see if the time has gone how it's supposed to go. And we've been doing this for like 45 or an hour.
You have been doing this for an hour. Exactly. Time is as you expect it to be.
Damn, that's not a way to stay young then.
It is fleeting. Madness takes its toll.
Right, let's get out of here. Let's get out of the lake.
Yeah, let's see if we can actually get there.
Okay. You drive
I wonder if
the. Go on.
I was wondering if it's because we're thinking of where we want to go.
We can't get there unless we actually know where we're going.
Why don't we reverse?
Yeah, that would go down well, wouldn't it? Reversing down the middle of the street. The police would be after me.
Just blame it on being American.
Yep. I'm from Idaho. This is where we all drive.
Yeah, and then they open up the booth and see all the guns.
But then we can say those famous words of, "You'll never take me alive, copper."
And they go, fair enough.
So, Ralph, that comment is weighing on your mind a little bit.
I'm trying to think if it's. Something's been imprinted on us to not go there again.
Those runes of protection that you wrote, they wouldn't
No,
have any effect.
no.
As he admitted, they were a placebo
Absolutely, absolutely.
because he hasn't yet learned the actual protection spell.
So what you're saying, Ralph, is we're stopping ourselves going there.
There's two things you've said. One, it's linked to what Ralph's just said, and secondly, it's also linked to what you suggested doing. But you have to put the two together to try and figure out how to do it.
Oh, maybe if we do go on a bus and don't tell them where we want and don't say where we want to go, or get somebody to drive us there who doesn't know, just to drive us in that direction without telling them where we want to go.
I think even if we told them where we wanted to go,
Then blindfold ourselves.
It's something else. It's something else outside of the whatever's happened.
Yeah,
Because it's not impacting anybody else that goes down that road.
No.
So it is specific to the three of you, based on everything you've experimented with. So how can you get from point A to point B if you are prevented by something? What steps could you take to try and circumvent that prevention?
You should get somebody else to take us.
That's the first one.
And then blindfold ourselves so we can't see where we're going.
The second one. Want to try that? Okay. You blindfold yourselves. You get into a taxi outside what you think is the perimeter. You get in a taxi. You instruct the taxi driver where to take you. He looked a little bit surprised. You know, nobody really goes to the old church anymore. He looks even more surprised when you all put scarves around your eyes.
We've all woken up with a bad migraine.
Yeah.
About 15 minutes or so. Gentlemen, we're here. That will be
£1,000.
shillings, please.
It's robbed us while we had a blind.
Yeah.
And as you kind of pull down your eyes, the church is in front of you.
That is the most peculiar thing.
Basically, if we need to go downstairs, we need to stand at the top of the stairs, face away from it, put blindfolds on, and one of us just push out.
Push each other down. Oh god. Oh my goodness. Right, yes.
One of the specific things it says is to be led away or to something while blindfolded by somebody else who is not affected by the spell.
Let's get a taxi driver to take us downstairs.
Yeah. Okay, that's really weird. Can we actually get into the church?
Yeah, you can go in.
On the plus side, if we want to get back to the car, we just have to really want to come to this church, not teleport us back there.
Just takes us down the road.
That's right. God, right, yeah.
The church, no problem.
Okay.
Right,
I'll
let's get this done as fast as we can because I'm not.
I want to see if anyone, before we go any further into it, I want to check if anyone else seems to have been in more recently. Look for any tracks or anything like that.
Especially on the trapdoor.
Yeah. Well,
I'm assuming we pushed the pew last time. We pushed it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought we should have put something on it so we'd known if it'd been used. But I'll do that this time.
There's a layer of dust, and our bootprints will be on there. If there are any others, I was thinking, that don't match ours.
Glancing, sort of looking around the entranceway, there isn't a huge amount of dust in the entranceway. There doesn't appear to be any fresh, damp, wet footprints. So you come back in to the main entrance. You have the stairs to the left and right of you as you kind of come in across the upside down cross, and then you can look out. You can look out into the sanctum.
Right, so it's the top right corner 9 we haven't been to, haven't we?
This one here.
Yeah.
It's just another one of those balconies with one of those statues in it. Let's have a look. This statue, to be precise.
Okay, he's protecting his jewels.
It's probably a choir boy.
Well, he's protecting his organ.
Oh, yeah.
There's one other place that you didn't really look at, and that is Area 12 on the first floor.
I thought that was
Wasn't that
the roof, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was a balcony looking over down to 6.
It is a balcony, but you never went on it.
Ah.
Okay.
Might have been at the time when I was giving you bad descriptions of the place, so maybe it wasn't very clear, but you never went on that balcony.
Just out of interest, while we're still at 9, is that room next to it the same as room 10 where Ralph had a little bit of magic mushroom?
No, that one's got nothing in it.
Right.
It is another sort of kind of waiting antechamber, but there's nothing in it of of interest.
Is this statue movable like the others have been? Or is it too big?
That one is not movable, no. Well, it is movable, but it has nothing underneath it.
Right, okay.
Right, let's go to 12 then. Let's back down and up the other side.
Check out 12 and then maybe head out doors by 8 on them steps.
It is a balcony, an old stone balcony, dusty, appears to be completely empty. Looking around, though, there are 7 large brass bolts driven into matching plates on the stone floor.
Where an organ would be.
Where a church organ would be.
I was just thinking that this is the type of place that you tend to have them, isn't it?
But, Joseph, calling upon your architectural knowledge, if it was an organ, it was an oddly shaped and proportioned one. Doesn't match the typical church organ kind of size and shape.
I will relay this as I'm looking at the bolts on the floor.
Can each of you roll a d6, please? As you're all wandering around, sort of looking at it top and bottom, Ralph, you're kind of at the top section of the balcony as we're looking at it on the map.
Okay.
And Alfred, you're at the bottom section. And you both kind of see a couple of these brass bolts and you turn towards each other. You both hit something. Right
The
where
invisible
the
organ.
bolts appear.
Did mention the invisible organ, didn't it?
But as you then try and feel, there's nothing there.
I just bumped into something. But there's nothing there.
Was it soft and flaccid?
I'm gonna
Sadly,
take
no.
Then it is a real organ we're looking for.
I'm going to take off my trench coat and go to where it would be and throw it over, see if
Roll a dice for me.
D6 again.
Yeah. Falls to the ground.
I'll pick it up.
Roll the dice for me.
And you should pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I managed to get halfway there and then I get stuck in whatever's there.
Pick it up, no problem. That's when you realise you've passed the point where you ran into something before. Alfred.
What are you two doing?
Ralph, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, what?
You have a cult, don't you?
I don't know.
Do you want to spend any points in a cult?
If it will help, I'll spend 2 points.
Spend 2 points then. You rummage through your pack for a second and pull out Trisha's... No, sorry, not Trisha's. You pull out book 9. Flick through the book until you kind of alight on the sections where Copeland is describing this invisible organ. You realise it's not invisible. You think it's
On another plane?
I was going to say more likely out of phase,
Mm.
and it's certain angles and certain approaches that would allow you to interact with it. The second thing,
Are we talking? Is this where the name the angles of Taclaso comes from?
possibly,
Because if because that was a series of, I haven't got singing or anything.
This is still singing.
It's not those crystals in the roof, is it?
If it's sound,
crystals aren't in the roof, but they're at the balcony level on the floor below.
thing says the angles of Taclaso have thinned the knot air. The sounds of Sklo, however you pronounce it, may be heard, and the sounds of earth may manifest as crystals and horrors.
Well, they're two crystals. That's our blowers. If I can find anything on the floor, like stone or something, and see if I can lightly throw it at the crystals, see if it makes a sound.
Okay. It is a sound of a stone hitting crystal.
Okay.
Anybody else remember the tune?
It was a random cacophonic kind of whistling sound. It got stronger the further down the tunnel you went until you got to that green light that seemed to open as a portal.
I'm going to take my torch out and shine it at these crystals.
From where?
I'm going to... there's no visual from the balconies. I've got to go down.
You can shine them from here, but...
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can shine it from the balcony, nothing happens. It just hits the crystal and refracts.
Yeah.
If it's all about the angle.
Yeah, I'm going to get down to the bottom in that case and
Okay.
try to get it to point at where the organ would be.
I'll do the other crystal.
That's going to be quite difficult. The only way you're going to be able to do that is if you climb up and are level with the organ, with the crystal. Looking around this arch, it doesn't... It's going to be difficult, but it's not impossible.
Maybe if I climb onto the altar.
No, the altar's
It's too far away.
You'll just have to climb up the stone pillars until you can get the archway.
Yeah.
I'll give that a go.
Yeah, I'll do the other one.
Are these pews fixed? Are these pews fixed?
No, most of them are broken and sagging as well.
Okay.
And use a point of athletics just to make sure I don't fall on my backside.
Yeah, use a point of athletics. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's also fine. You both climb up, possibly one each side. So if you think you've got 4 arches with 4 of them, and you both climb up. The crystals are kind of whitish in nature, semi-opaque. As you're about to flash torchlights through them, you can see Ralph still on the balcony, stood next to a strange metallic machine.
Oh. Are we looking through the crystals at this thing?
Yes, you are.
Interesting.
Oh my giddy aunt. So it's literally like spy glasses that can see this thing, but
Are we having to hold on to the columns to be able to see through it?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So I can't take a photo through it, type of thing.
No.
Right, that's fine. We'll describe to Ralph what we're seeing.
So shouting at Ralph.
Yeah, saying that to your left. There's something about waist height, etc., etc. Until
are there any keys we can see? As in, like piano keys.
There is a strange frame with, and the frame is kind of a full, almost the size of a full-length mirror, but wider, maybe twice as wide as a typical full-length mirror, and about the size of a full-length mirror. And on either side of the mirror, there appears to be sort of a semicircular metal structure with a load of, best thing you can picture it as would be levers of different sizes that look like they go in, out, up and down, and side to side.
Ralph, close your eyes and reach down to the left and see if you can feel anything.
Roll the d6, please. I tell you what, d6 minus 1. Can't feel anything. Not where you are.
No, nothing.
His hand is about, from where you're both kind of observing, his hand is maybe 5 or 6 inches above one of these metal panels.
Right, go lower. Go about half a foot lower.
I'll drop my hand.
Pick your hand up, man. You'll need it.
It briefly, very briefly, you feel resistance, and then your hand goes on, carries on.
Oh, I kind of felt something then.
And from where you're stood, it's like his hand hit the top of a lever and seemed to slip off and fall down between the two of them.
You almost had it, Ralph. Just a little bit to the left.
Where I felt resistance there,
Yeah.
I'll stand with my hands just above that level.
Okay.
It's a lever between. There's little levers. Just you need to grab one. You went between them.
And I'll take the blindfold scarf.
Yeah.
And one, I'll put that around my eyes, clear my mind,
Okay.
as I would for doing psychoanalysis and whatnot.
Your hand on a metal. It feels metal. It's cold to the touch. Panel. Either side, you can feel strange angled protrusions coming out of it.
If only we had the instructions on how to operate this thing.
Do what you do when you get anything else. Just start pressing things.
Pushing buttons.
Yeah, I was going to say trial and error. Imagine you're driving a car and changing gear.
I'll basically keep the blindfold on, but I'll ask for how wide it is and things like that, and just for them to describe it, and then I'll try and feel it out.
It's probably the same size, the average size of an average desk. So maybe 150 centimeters, 1.5 meters. I know we're talking in yards really, but by maybe I wouldn't say a meter, but in the middle there is this kind of human-sized gap, which you can actually watch him walk through.
Oh, so when you step into it, all the keys are around you?
Yes.
Okay, right. Step into the gap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guide into the gap, and does it become visible once you're in there?
No. Still not there.
Okay.
It's only there if you look at it through the crystal. It's only there if you're not looking at it and trying not to think about it. But that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And a couple of times, Ralph, as you're kind of thinking about what you're doing and trying to picture it, you can no longer feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You've literally got to be a blank slate, haven't you? I wonder if these crystals will come out so we can use them as...
Yeah, but this kind of... the camera's not on, is it? They're probably... No. I'm gesturing away and I've realised my camera's not on. So they're about a foot across by maybe half a foot in height. So they're fairly big, but they're also keystones as far as you can tell for the arches.
Of course, yeah.
And now you're looking at these arches are angled in such a way that you've got this view to the balcony. You think, Ralph, with enough time studying volume 9, there might be hints in there as to how to make this thing work. You are sure, though, without unlocking those hints, there is little chance that you could get to work.
But at least we know where it is now as well.
Yeah. I think I need to look at the book a little bit, guys.
Okay.
There were hints of this, but I don't think I only gave it a cursory look, so I may need to pore over it.
How tall are these crystals from the floor?
10 feet.
So would it be possible to get Alfred on my shoulders with his camera?
I was thinking the other way around, but yeah, the same thing.
I mean, he can use the actual pillar to brace himself as he goes up, and then he just...
Yeah, go on. I'll let you do that. Yeah, I'm going to take a photo of it.
Yeah.
It might not
a
work.
few photos just in case. But
it might be just something that I can see and not the machines, but...
So, are we reading the book now, or are we coming back?
He'll need it. It will need a very good study.
I need a good session at it.
That will probably be measured in days, if not weeks.
Right, that's fine. I was going to say, because if we're going to use the photos to try and give us an idea, then we need to develop them anyway.
You do need to develop your photos, yes.
Come back here then. Another time. If we
Oh,
survive,
definitely.
We need to see whether we can get down these stairs by not thinking about it.
Oh, those steps that lead outside. I want to see what's down there.
Well, actually, before you do that, just as you're all kind of, are you still up in the balcony whilst Alfred is taking the photo, or have you come down?
I'll be up in the balcony for reference.
Okay, as Ralph, sorry, Alfred, as you're taking the photo.
Don't tell me there's something behind me.
I was just thinking that.
No, but what you do notice is the pew shift and a figure climbs out of the staircase.
I see that, or they see that.
You see that because the other two are busy juggling and photographing and making a bit of noise. And what you see is a slightly green glowing priest. And that's where we'll leave it for the night.
Shut up.
But they're taking a picture and I'm going.
Yes. And snapping through this kind of slightly opaque thing. You can see kind of in the angles and of the crystal a slightly warped Ralph going like this. And as you turn your head, literally sort of, you're probably close to about here.
Yeah.
And this figure rises out of from beneath the pew, glowing green, in a priest's outfit about here.
We know who it is at least, but
And
this is where you
it
turn
though.
around and I go with the camera and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will stop for the night.
Do you know, to be fair, it could be one of those fish things.
Could be a fish thing.
Yeah, that's what comes out behind it.
Yeah. Along with Solomon.
Okay. Well, we've not gone Wibble yet, but we're a step closer to going to Wibble.
Well, no, we're further away because I'm now at maximum sanity, so I'm good. I'm good.
I reckon we go Wibbling in the first 10 minutes of next week.
How much sanity have I got on the moment? My health's down a little bit, but
Unless it's not a vicar, it's really old man Tucker. And he would have got away with it too if it wasn't for us damn kids.
He's radioactive.
Yeah.
Or it's Hulk.
Activity wouldn't be a thing, would it? I don't know. When were the atoll? No.
It wouldn't be man-made radioactive, but radioactive.
Yeah, it would still exist.
It still exists, but you just wouldn't know about it.
1945. So
is that uranium?
You're probably about 6 years too early for the concept of a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
But I would say splitting the atom is probably something that is being discussed.
So it's toxic.
It could be just covered in phosphorus.
So the first splitting of the atom was Cockcroft and Walton in 1932. So the concept, especially to you three, the concept of splitting the atom is a known quantity. But I guess at that time, probably the outcome of doing it, probably less so.
Yeah.
Bigger, badder, boom.
Yeah, Marie Curie was... She won the Nobel Prize, didn't she? So that was like... Just let me have a look. 1903.
Yeah. Yeah, so radiation is a thing, right? You know about radiation. Yeah. Whether this is a radioactive priest or not, you don't know.
And X-rays were discovered in 1901.
Mm.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
I'm very tempted to once this is all done, to buy the inhabitants of the lake and other unwelcome tenants.
This is all based loosely on Ramsey Campbell's
Yep,
series.
that's the book.
Yeah.
It's £13 on Amazon. I'm very tempted to buy it after this.
I am also tempted because I'm curious to see how it plays out in the book.
He's a well-known author, though. Apparently, he's done a book of Solomon Kane, the film.
Yeah.
Really?
He's done a book of that, I think.
There you go, gentlemen.
So are we back next week? Are we going to stick with the 8 o'clock start? I think it's sensible.
Yeah, 8 o'clock is about sensible, and we can stretch it out to about 10:30 if people are not tired and stuff. I just thought that was a good point to have this stop.
Yeah.
You got to leave a Cthulhu game on a cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
And we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I always have flashbacks to an old game where two best friends that were playing, running out of there. I was well ahead of them, and the one that was at the back drew out his gun, shot his mate in the leg, and ran past just so that he'd be at the back of the queue. He got killed. It's like, hang on, they grew up together, they're best friends. I'm not one about characters, I'm one about the players. So they did that. It's like, nah. So, yeah, I always think that somebody has to be at the back, as long as it's not me.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard loads of stories about Horror on the Orient Express and things. It's like some of the things that have been gone on there. So I've not played it a lot.
Right. It was a great. I've run the first book of 3 for Horror of the Orient Express, and it is a pretty good system. I don't think I ran it. I don't really think I ran it well.
I know that just from the stories that they told me that they went